Hi friends, welcome back to my garden. I am out here enjoying a little bit of sunshine before the rain and cold arrive later today. And I've been prepping some of my plants to handle that cold. I'll show you that in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about a controversial plant. And this one has a lot of names. The plant name, botanical name, is Sansevieria. I might be saying that wrong, forgive me, but it's sometimes called the snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. It has a lot of names. But what some people have never seen is the flowers on this plant. And that plant, it is controversial because of the fruit that can come from those flowers can become invasive, and it depends on the variety. Some of them, as they say, are well behaved, but others can be a little too aggressive and outcompete some of our native, more Florida adapted plants. But this one in particular, the flowers are special. They are a long stalk of small tubular flowers, and I want to show you what they look like. Last year I got one or two flower stalks off of these plants. I do have this in a container. I need to clean up some of these leaves that aren't doing too well. But just look at how many flowers I have this year. There's some more here. There's some more back there. There's another one down in the middle. There's two strong ones and then another one just getting started to open up. You can see one tiny little bud right there on top. See if I can get that to focus a little better. So they are super pretty, and there's a lot of different varieties. You can see kind of this variegated one, this striped style. This one has a little bit more of a horizontal stripe to it. I don't know if there's any, like besides a little bit of rosy or brown tones on it, I don't know if there's any like true color variations or if they're just mostly green and slightly yellowish, but it's just a fun plant to have in a container. It doesn't mind being a little crowded. I do want to repot these soon and put them into something else. I love that it's got such a great vertical structure, and it's a great background plant because it does get fairly tall, and it's just a lot of fun. Now this one, on the topic of protecting from the cold, I probably should move it into my greenhouse. It's really heavy and this pot is old and kind of crumbling and falling apart, so I'm gonna take my chances. We're not really supposed to get much below 40 or mid 30s at the lowest overnights, but I'm gonna take my chances with this one. I could cover it up. However, what I'm not going to take my chances with are my nice fresh herbs. So you can see here I have deployed my cold frame, and this is a pretty simple one that I actually got from Big Lots. They're going out of business now, but I heard that some stores might reopen under a new ownership, but we'll see what happens in our area. Now I've got carrots that are doing pretty well here. A few spots that could probably do with some thinning. I'm a little bit of a lazy gardener, so I'm not too concerned if the roots connect and get like funny shapes because they've grown together. So I may or may not actually thin them. I'd rather have more carrots than pretty carrots at this particular harvest. This cold frame specifically has 3 access panels. I'm just going to open this one up and peek inside. So I've got some great parsley going on here. My lettuce is starting to bolt. I'm going to let it and just let the seeds kind of replant themselves right in here. I've already harvested off of this one a couple of times and had some nice tasty salads. Got some watercress growing in around there and some radishes. Let me zoom in on this gorgeous one. I picked a couple of them before the weekend, and I've got a couple more getting ready to harvest. Some more lettuce. This parsley is doing great. It's an Italian parsley, and then just a classic oregano. Back in the back there, let me zoom because again, I'm not going to fool with these panels too much. Sorry for the crinkling sounds. This is called culantro, and it tastes a lot like cilantro, but it can handle the summer heat. And this one has all of these little flower heads that they are very sharp and spiky, spiny, almost more like a thistle. I've been waiting to see if they'll go to seed and I can plant out those seeds, but so far not too much. So this cold frame has just some really simple fabric ties, and then this reinforced plastic has that fabric mesh on the inside to give it some durability there, and then these nice pretty good quality zippers. I've been happy with those. Now I used this same cold frame over the summer with a shade cloth. So the clear plastic of this greenhouse cover is going to draw in heat during the daytime and then hold it overnight. And that's great right now, but that's horrible in the summer when the stuff is already kind of baking and struggling. So I really want it to do is keep these guys insulated and warm at night, but not too hot during the day. And our daytime temperatures are not going to be super hot over this next week. We've got the chill warnings, not really freeze warnings, but just a lot more chill weather below or around 40. And just those tender herbs, I don't want them to be harmed by that. And I did take in all of my tropical plants. My mint is still out. I need to carry that in when I walk in the house. But on our back porch off of our pool enclosure, we have what we call the greenhouse. It's just a closed-in Florida room, lanai. There's different rooms for it, but we mostly use it for plants. So it's been dubbed the greenhouse. And it's got some good like vinyl window panels, kind of that like the back window of a Jeep, that kind of vinyl. And the doors are made of that. The windows are covered with that. And so it keeps nice and warm up against the house. It's got two walls surrounded by the house, one kind of next to the pool, and then one that's exposed to our little back section of the yard. So nice, happy spot to keep some plants warm and protected in these cold snaps that we get, and then just pop them right back out around the pool or into the yard as needed once it warms up again, which of course will be quite soon. Let me walk over to the side yard, and I just want to give you a New Year's update on how the flip garden is looking. Always lots of happy little creatures anytime I come out here. The last video that I did with the garden, or the pictures at least, was right after Hurricane Milton, and we did have some damage, but it's bounced back pretty nicely. So you can see my guava tree over here. I started pruning that the other day. I need to finish that up and also put in some stakes because the wind gave it way too much of an angle. I need to train it back in the right direction. We've got some nice good strong leaders, and I've been cutting out some of the suckers in between just to give it a nice good structure. I'm very optimistic that it might give me some fruit this next year, so we will stay tuned for what happens there. Now I've got a few volunteers like this little guy. Oh, the bee flew away. I was hoping I could show you that. But the beach verbena is pretty much done. Oh, sorry for that. So it's getting kind of some red color to the leaves. It's getting a lot thinner in general. Not very many flowers. I had a good coverage of flowers before, but it has definitely slowed down quite a bit. The Dune sunflower is still doing pretty well. You can see some of the verbena flowers here and there. I will be cleaning this up over the winter. I need to get all of this grass out of here. I'm going to trim back the both of these flowers. I need to replant my milkweed that was over here and just hasn't been happy, so I'm going to get some more. The olive tree is doing great. I got some better supports for it, and it is getting a much better structure. It's a little lopsided because the sun is mostly on this side over here. So that's just going to be how it is, I'm sure, but I can do a little pruning and shaping just to kind of encourage it to fill out on both sides, and as it matures it will probably fill out as well. Speaking of filling out, this is the sky blue cluster vine, and it's quite happy. So I guess I need to put another support. Let me show you what I did in here. I don't remember if I've put up a video of this or not, but this piece down here was part of the original assembly for this swing. But I had these other small slats. So that one was original. This one, and then this top one. And I picked them up off a marketplace for free and had them in my garage. Not sure what I was going to do with them, but they were perfect. I didn't have to trim them or anything. They stick out just a little bit on the sides, but I'm not worried about that. It's fine for the purpose that I want it to serve. What isn't really happening is this vine isn't really finding the ceiling very well. So I'm trying to get a few pieces to kind of grow vertically, grow a little taller. There we go. That might get him started. So if he can grab onto that top part, then the rest of these can kind of climb and follow him. But these flowers are already kind of closing up for the day. But here we go. Here's a nice cute little one. They are so tiny, but they're just beautiful. And then I've got all of these little clusters where the other flowers were, possibly some seeds in there, and just gonna let it do its thing and be happy. A few things that didn't really bounce back from the hurricanes. This is a Monarda, and it's a very brittle plant. Now there's still some green in there, so I haven't pulled it out, but once it is definitely done, I am going to trim it back a lot more. Some more things that I need to clean up down underneath the fiddlewood. There is actually some Monarda blooming right over there, also called bee balm or horse mint, dotted horse mint. And then the Yopin holly, Yopin, I don't know, somebody laughed at me for how I pronounced it before, so I'm so confused. This one I had not seen bloom until today, seriously. This is, oh goodness, I'm blanking on the name, but I think it was Pennyroyal or something. It has a very green, kind of herby sort of scent, but those blooms are a little bit like a basil flower or a lavender kind of flower, where it's got that thick spike with the little smaller inflorescences, petals coming out of it. The frog fruit has been doing really well. That's what's back over there. And I keep having to push it back towards the yard. Probably next year, I'm going to move this into another spot of the yard and put something more colorful in this little corner here, and a little less aggressive perhaps, because this has been rather happy and I'm okay with that, but somewhere else. It's just hard to keep it clean and keep it out from under the other plants. So the fiddlewood is doing quite well. The starry rosinweed is, I need to trim back the seed heads, just really cut it back. I'm kind of waiting on some of these until after this cold snap, because I want them to really go dormant before I cut them down. And so the leaves around the ground right here, I'm going to leave that, but then all of this vertical growth here, those dry stems from the flowers, I will trim those off. I know that some of those seeds have dropped back into the ground, which is exactly what I wanted. So this will kind of naturalize over time in this spot. And my silly joke about the rosinweed around the fiddlewood, because I'm a violin player. This is my African blue basil, and it's getting a little langy, leggy, but the bees will not leave it alone. They are just constantly all over this stuff, and I hate to cut it back because the bees love it so much and because they don't love me handling it. So at some point, I'm just going to have to go for it. I don't know if I can rent a bee suit or something, but I'm going to have to trim this back, get it to go to sleep so that it can come back just as strong next year. But I have been so happy with this plant. It has seriously never stopped blooming and never stopped buzzing. And it has gone from the little bitty 1-gallon pots. I think there were 3, maybe 4 of them. And you can see it is over 3 feet tall and even wider than it is tall. It's just so beautiful, so gorgeous. My garlic chives down here are doing great. The blueberries hopefully will appreciate this little cold snap and start to set some buds for the spring and give me some berries. I think it gave the birds a few berries last year, but I didn't get to enjoy any of them. But it was the first year I had them in the ground. I didn't expect much, but I do enjoy just looking at them. And this one is my blanking of the name again, Privet Cassia, Bahama Cassia. I'll have to look that one up and refresh my memory. But these seed pods, I've been collecting some of those and sharing them with friends because this is a great Florida-friendly plant. Same thing with my tropical sage. This is the white one here at the front. There are plants that are red. Those are really great for hummingbirds, but I particularly wanted the white and pink ones. Here's some nice, pretty pink. Just so beautiful. And even how they're starting to open up over here. Oh, they're blown away. These are just starting to open up. Just look at that gorgeous color. I love it. And the bees are happy with it as well. Now, you might remember from my last video several months ago, I had pictures at least of the metal arbor trellis that blew over and twisted and tore up in the wind from the hurricane. I tried as carefully as I could to unwind all of this coral honeysuckle vine off of the metal trellis. I know I broke some pieces. I tried to share those with people that were interested in propagating it, but a lot of it came through and is doing okay, and it's just kind of hanging on this new trellis. Got this one on, I want to say it was Bed Bath & Beyond on their website. Super easy to put together. I can share the link if anybody's interested, but I love how it blends in with the swing and the other little planter box that I have. Another cleanup project obviously is my sad little marigolds. They have a lot of seeds on them, so I'm trying to put those seeds back in or gather them to carry inside. I've gotten a lot of seeds off of my blue butterfly pea. There's some more pods there and still a few flowers. But again, just trimming that all back in preparation for springtime so that I can get more happy growth next year. And I hope you have a wonderful day in your garden. I hope you get a chance to just enjoy being outside a little bit. Maybe pick some flowers, bring them in to enjoy, or just anything that makes you feel connected with your surroundings, with the new promise of the year and the spring coming soon, and just find a moment of tranquility, of excitement, of happiness. Whatever you need today, I hope you can find it in your garden, and I'll see you next time.